Welcome to Mock the Mock, where I take a look at someone else's mock draft and I mock it, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. I got a great one for you today. We're going to be traveling over to The Athletic, taking a look at Dane Brugler and his mock draft. Dane Brugler, one of my most favorite draft analysts just in the overall community. He might have his ear to the NFL draft better than anyone else out there. I'll leave a link to the article in the description below, but let's go ahead. Get into this sucker. Don't know if we got trades, but we got the Tennessee Titans picking at 1, and they're actually going to trade the pick to the Cleveland Browns for Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana. So it looks like the Titans will pick up Cleveland's other first-round pick as well, which you kind of assumed that was the plan with Cleveland, right? That they trade down, acquire draft capital for 2026 to go out and make a move, make a play for a quarterback in this draft class. I'm sorry, Dillon Gabriel, 3rd round pick. Shedeur Sanders, 5th round pick. Those guys aren't going to stop me if I'm not sold on them being the franchise guy. We'll let it play out with Shedeur for the remainder of the season, and we can have that conversation. But as of right now, I'm hesitant. I'm in a place where, hey, we could go ahead, get our guy, get the top guy. Let's do it. It will cost you your other 2026 first round pick. But honestly, if you hit on the quarterback position, it's well worth it. Fernando Mendoza, currently the betting odds favorite to go first overall, the quarterback there out of Indiana. And those odds can skyrocket with a very good performance in the Big Ten championship game against Ohio State. So we're going to be doing a watch along for that game, so maybe hang tight. Come join us. See if Fernando Mendoza's stock will go through the roof. At pick 2, we're going to have the New York Giants. Oh, no, actually, we're going to have the Las Vegas Raiders moving up. Trading up, which I think that's great for the Giants. You're kind of in a weird... this pick, I think, should have a lot of value, or at least a decent amount of value to allow you to be able to trade down a few spots, maybe get some draft capital, whether it be in this draft or a future draft. And then you could go address probably wide receiver, I imagine. It doesn't feel great taking the top wide receiver at 2. Taking it at 4 and getting more draft capital feels a whole lot better. But if you're the Raiders, you're getting Dante Moore, the quarterback out of Oregon. He's going to be my top guy. That's just how I feel. Again, we'll see how the Big Ten championship game and the playoffs play out. He could end up returning to school. That's Todd McShay said, hey, I'm hearing it from people close to Moore that he's could return. And Oregon, they're going to pay a hefty price for him to come back. But now Will Stein is quarterback's coach, heading over to be the head coach of Kentucky. Does that complicate things? Regardless, Raiders, I think they went into this season with a relatively solid plan, poor execution, right? I think going out and getting Geno was good. Pete Carroll of like, okay, if you feel this team can be competitive, then yeah, those are moves you make. I think what ultimately happened, they didn't make enough moves defensively, I think, at free agency. Some of the young pieces they had are not nearly as far along as they assumed. And now you're looking at this like, okay, well, we tried it. Let's pull the plug and let's just go ahead and get our quarterback of the future. Pulling the plug might even mean, hey, sorry, Pete Carroll, you're out of here. Geno Smith, see you later. That might be what needs to happen first before I truly believe the Raiders will go quarterback, but I mean, hey, should be in the back of their heads. It really should. Pick 3. Let's get another trade. Nah, the New Orleans Saints are going to stay put and just take the best non-quarterback prospect in this class. And the consensus is, hey, that player is Arvell Reese. Is he my top non-quarterback prospect? No, but he's not far from it, especially if you're viewing him as a pass rusher, and the Saints need pass rush. Currently, their best pass rusher this year has been Chase Young, another former Buckeye. So Arvell Reese going here to the Saints makes sense to me. Let's see the Giants take a wide receiver. As they take Carnell Tate, wide receiver at Ohio State. They They grab another weapon for Jackson Dart, as they should. Malik Neighbors coming off pretty gnarly injury. Wan'Dale Robinson, he's a free agent. You should be doing everything you can to help your franchise quarterback. We have back-to-back Ohio State Buckeyes coming off the board. Can another? Are we gonna see this not once, twice, but 3 times? I don't know. Let's go see. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics, and it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel, and as always, much appreciated, much obliged. No, we do not. Actually, the Tennessee Titans at 5 are going to take Keldrick Falk, edge out of Auburn. I don't love it. Falk is, if you're looking at him as a pass rusher, needs a lot more polish. I love the size and the versatility he could bring to the table. I love that his floor is relatively high because of what he just brings to the table as a run defender. But man, I don't love him this early. If I'm the Titans, I'm probably going to take a wide receiver here. I'm going to help out Cam Ward. Granted, they will get Cleveland's other pick, so you could go wide receiver there. I think I'd rather do it early. I like the depth of this edge class, so you could maybe do that a little bit later. But that's kind of where I stand with that. I don't love this selection. A lot of people are much higher on Keldrick Falk than I am. And to be fair, a lot of it is projection, because dude is 6'6", allegedly 270, might be 285. We'll find out in the offseason. But the dude is strong. He moves well at that size. I think it's pretty well put here. Because of his sky-high tools, Falk has a profile that is very similar to Mikael Williams, who I think went at 11 this past draft. Washington Commanders go with the Ruben Bain Jr. edge out of Miami. I would probably consider wide receiver here as well, help out Jaden Daniels. But listen, they need pass rush help. They need corner help, honestly, too. They need secondary help. Caleb Downs should also be on the board here in terms of a player they can consider. Yes, you maybe want to swing on better positional value, more premium positions. So wide receiver, edge, that makes more sense to do that. But Ruben Bain's hella good, man. I'm a big Ruben Bain guy. When I talk about guys that I have ahead of Arvell Reese, Bain is one of them. And then the New York Jets take Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. So no Ty Simpson. So let's remember that. I wonder if then he goes to the Steelers in this scenario. Or the Cardinals. They're actually pick 8, so that could be a scenario as well. But the Jets, they have Garrett Wilson. Adonai Mitchell's coming off a really good game. They also brought in Mechie, but I don't know if those guys stop you from going with a wide receiver. Tyson arguably might be the top guy on the board unless you want to go with Caleb Downs, which that could be Aaron Glenn's MO. That's right up his alley, being a former defensive back himself. But yeah, Jordan Tyson, I'm fine with that. I like Tyson quite a bit. Arizona Cardinals, in fact, do not go Ty Simpson. They go David Bailey, edge out of Texas Tech. Oh, that's actually a little interesting. Actually, I want to take a quick look at who's currently getting pressure for the Arizona Cardinals this year. They did sign Joshua Sweat. They have Baron Brown in there. BJ Ojolari, but he's always banged up, unfortunately. So I guess if you are looking for another pass rusher, because it's basically Sweat, and then he's really not getting help from anyone else. Zaven Collins, 21 pressures a sack. Baron Browning, 23 pressures, 2 sacks. Maybe Jordan Birch, but he's kind of a tweener type. Darius Robinson hasn't really done much this year. Hasn't even really started many games. So, yeah. I mean, edge, I guess, isn't out of the cards. And let's think outside of the box here. I think that that actually makes quite a bit of sense. They could also... I mean, I guess right tackle is kind of the most common projection for the Cardinals, but I don't mind looking outside the box here. Before we get to pick 9, I gotta talk about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Download the app, sign up with promo code Broshmo. They match that first deposit up to $1,000 dues. It's the best place for weekly best ball or higher or lower on player stats. They have promos available to you each and every day for you to take advantage of. But let the first promo you take advantage of be promo code Broshmo. Remember, they match that first deposit up to $1,000 dues. But as always, play responsibly and play within your means. Los Angeles Rams are going to go with Spencer Fano, the tackle out of Utah here. And I'm just reading this real quick because I saw Warren McClennan's name here. The answer might already be on the roster should Warren McClennan finish the season strong. Okay, so I like that McClennan's being talked about because he's played really good in lieu of Rob Havenstein being hurt. So they could definitely, like Caleb Downs would be I'd be running the card in. Even if I needed a right tackle, I'm running the Caleb Downs card in. He's that good. And I mean, you look at the roster, Quinton Lake, Cam Curl, both free agents. Yeah, I'm going with Caleb Downs. But Fano, for a lot of people, he's the first tackle off the board. I'm a big Francis Mauigoa guy. Hey, is what it is. I love who I love when it comes to the NFL draft. Pick 10, Cincinnati Bengals will go with Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. Makes sense. Take the best player on the board. We already saw David Bailey go, so he's kind of not an option here. Even Keldrick Falk is off the board. Ruben Bain, he's off the board. So all these pass rushers are gone. Let's just take the best defensive player on the board. In general, the best player on the board, and that is Caleb Downs. Pick 11. Minnesota Vikings go with Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. This is going to be your most popular landing spot in mocks for Jeremiah Love. It just makes a ton of sense. If you're looking to take pressure off your quarterback on a rookie deal who will be entering year 3, which is typically, well, you'd like to know if he's your franchise guy or not by year 3. Getting him Jeremiah Love in the backfield would help him immensely. But let's go to my Miami Dolphins. Fins up, baby, fins up. They go Mansour Delane, corner out of LSU. I don't mind it. I'm kind of in the, hey, let's get stinking Tua some help because this is going to be kind of his last year, whether that's Francis Mauigoa to come in and challenge a right tackle or Mekhi Lemon. He's still available, but is he a little too close to what you have in Jalen Waddle? They could go with Kenyon Sadiq. I think that could be an option too. But I like that at the very least like that they go with a position of value. Mansour has been so fun. I think he could play anywhere in the defensive backfield. He played actually quite a bit of box at Virginia Tech and was very good at that. You can just tell he plays a physical brand of football. So I don't mind it for my Dolphins. Pick 13. Kansas City Chiefs will go with Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon. Yeah, Travis Kelce's about to retire. So do you have the next heir apparent tight end? I'm sorry, Noah Gray ain't that guy. So yeah, Kenyon, this is going to be a very popular landing spot for Kenyon Sadiq. Pick 14. The Pittsburgh Steelers indeed take Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama. He will be their quarterback of the future. Aaron Rodgers, sure. Maybe he returns. Maybe he doesn't. Will the Steelers make the playoffs this year? They're probably going to end the season above 500. That's just what Mike Tomlin does. Maybe Mike Tomlin takes the Penn State job. Maybe not. I think he would have to be fired to do that. And I don't think the Steelers are going to fire him not prior to the season. So we'll see. But Ty Simpson is going to the first round. So there we go. 3 quarterbacks in the first round. Curious if we see a 4th one, maybe a Lenore Sellers. That would really be the only other option. But we'll see. We'll see. Pick 15. Carolina Panthers go with Peter Woods, defensive tackle out of Clemson. So defensive line, I do think makes sense. If Peter Woods is available, to me, he is a top 10 prospect. He's just an absolute game wrecker, penetrator, wreaks havoc in the backfield. You hear, well, at least I say this, but there is a little reminiscence with his ability and maybe his production not matching up with his ability to when Derek Brown was at Auburn. It was like, hey, this guy's got a ton of talent. It's just, as a pass rusher, it's just not hitting home. So Woods gets drafted by the team that drafted Derek Brown. I think that's kind of funny. They currently don't have an option next to Derek Brown. They've tried, but I don't think they have a for sure 3-down guy that I feel great about on that roster to play next to Derek Brown. We've already seen a bevy of pass rushers come off the board. So going to look elsewhere does make sense to me. All right, we got pick 16. Dallas Cowboys go with Jermod McCoy, corner out of Tennessee. Yes, it's problematic that he hasn't played this year after the ACL injury he suffered in the middle of January. Will he go into the draft not playing football this year and just be as healthy as he can be for the offseason draft process? We'll see. Some people think he's going to return. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Cowboys, they certainly can use another corner there. They got Revel playing. He's had rookie moments, but you know the upside with him. Deron Bland could kick inside and out. Steady's been playing, or Stewart's been playing in the slot a bit this year as well. I think Diggs gets moved on from this offseason. I think Kalen Carson is, when he's healthy, he's not great. So McCoy, it's making sense. But before we get into pick 17, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below, where we had that nice, beautiful football discourse. Yeah. By the way, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case, I didn't formally introduce myself. Felt like I had to. Pick 17, Detroit Lions go with Caden Proctor, offensive tackle at Alabama. So this is ahead of Francis Maui-Noah. Proctor, granted, does play on the left side, and that's kind of where you're looking for the help. Taylor Decker's getting up there in years. He does get hurt. Christian Mahogany, who was playing left guard, went down with, I think, a season-ending injury. So there are questions there. So if you're looking to target somebody, having them play on the left side already, it's kind of nice. Do you force it here with Francis Maui-Noah, who's only played on the right side? Though I do think he played left tackle in high school. I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, I think offensive line could be on the board for the Lions, as well as like edge and such. Pick 18, Francis Maui-Noah. He's going to the Houston Texans. They list Dane lists him as a guard slash center, or guard slash tackle, excuse me. And yeah, Trent Brown's not a long-term answer, so maybe you just plug and play Maui-Noah there. Maybe you put Titus Howard at right tackle and you just kick Maui-Noah into guard. Rumor is most of the NFL view him as a guard, but it's good value. I would run this pick in a heartbeat. Pick 19, Caden McDonald, defensive tackle at Ohio State, going to the Baltimore Ravens. Matabuke coming off a big injury. Hopefully he will be good to go next season. Travis Jones is a free agent, so defensive tackle makes sense. Any sort of defensive line help. I mean, I would love an edge here because, golly, this team can't get pass rush, but you don't have to force it if you don't want to. Pick 20, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going with Sonny Styles, linebacker at Ohio State. So, yep, Styles is the 5th Buckeye to come off the board in this mock. Sounds about right. Very talented defense. And I think specifically at defense, 4 of those 5 picks have been defense. Arvell Reese, you got Sonny Styles, Caden McDonald, and Caleb Downs. So, yeah, that makes sense to me. You're looking for the heir apparent for Levante David, the Buccaneers. They're going to be a common mock spot for these linebackers. They just are. Pick 21. The Buffalo Bills go with Denzel Boston, wide receiver out of Washington. Some people will be like, well, that's Keon Coleman's role. And it's like, well, Denzel Boston's much faster than you think. He's just not this big body vertical guy. He's not just a big body possession guy. While, yes, incredibly strong hands can go up and win the contested catch, he has gotten up to about 20 miles per hour multiple times this year. The Bills, the offense, it's in a slump. Get a wide receiver. Pick 22, Philadelphia Eagles go with Vega Yowane. So, okay, is that the official pronunciation? I'm going to trust Dane on this because Penn State's website, their roster page, had Iwane. But yeah, I'm just going to go with Dane. Yowane. I love Vega. He was my guard 1 enter in the year. Big Samoan that just beats the hell out of people. The Eagles have concerns about Landon Dickerson's long-term durability. So, and I mean, they got Tyler Steen in there. If they're looking to shore up the offensive line, why not? Why not? This is going to be the New York Jets' 2nd pick, and it's Brandon Cease, corner out of South Carolina. Coming off a solid game against Clemson after having just a semi meltdown against Texas A&M, unfortunately. But Cease, he checks a lot of boxes. He's got size. He's got really good length. He is an insane athlete, flies to the football. A team that just traded Sauce Gardner, yeah, it makes sense for them to go out and pursue a corner. So I'm okay with that one. So they go wide receiver corner in this draft. Pick 24, San Francisco 49ers take Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver out of USC. And Mekhi Lemon, first off, extraordinary value. I would take him in the top 15. Also, kind of fits the template of what the Niners have been doing when it comes to wide receiver recently. Bringing in these guys that are explosive, can create after the catch. I'm down with it. But before we get to pick 25, I actually just want to take a sip of my sparkling water, raspberry flavored. Delicious. We got the Chargers going with Cassius Howe, edge out of Texas A&M. I think if they don't re-sign Odafe Owe, then yeah, I think edge could definitely be the pick here. If they do, I think that becomes less likely. Kind of sucks you saw Vega come off the board. Because I think if you grab another guard, that's right up Harbaugh's alley to fortify the trenches. You could also talk about defensive tackle. Maybe an Amari Washington here I think would make a ton of sense. They have a lot of defensive interiors that are going to be free agents this year. But I love Hal. He's got arm size working against him, but he's explosive. He gets after it. Pick 26. Got Casey Concepcion, wide receiver at Texas A&M, going to the Tennessee Titans, who did take... Who did they take? Keldrick Falk, that's right. Okay, so Concepcion gives them some speed. So I'm all about that. Preferably, I think you want to get a Jordan Tyson type. That's at least where my head first goes. But Casey Concepcion, he's getting this first round love, and I'm all about it. I was a mark for this dude when he was at NC State. Pick 27. Dallas Cowboys take CJ Allen, linebacker out of Georgia. So Allen, another guy that's been seen a lot in first round mocks. Cowboys, honestly, outside of Overshown, they don't have an answer at linebacker. Jack Sanborn ain't it. Kenneth Murray, for goodness sake, ain't it. They got Logan Wilson there, but he was kind of on the downward spiral with Cincinnati. I think he's made some plays this year for Dallas, at least. Really, I mean, the only thing I think the only game that I've really checked out since Wilson's been on this team is the Chiefs game, and he was active in that game. So yeah, but I do like Allen quite a bit. Seattle Seahawks, they're gonna go with Chris Bell, wide receiver out of Louisville. Now I feel like this is probably based on, it kind of depends on what happens with Rashid Shaheed. Do they sign him? Do they re-sign him after trading for him? I mean, you trade for him, I imagine you re-sign him and they go elsewhere, whether that's corner or maybe you make the case for guard. Chris Bell's hella fun though. 6'1". I got him at 127. Dane has him at 6'2", 225. I tend to believe him a little bit more, but he's got great speed to stretch the field, but he can also create after the catch. He's just hard to bring down. Los Angeles Rams go with Avion Terrell, corner out of Clemson. This is probably Terrell's most commonly mocked spot in mock drafts. It just makes sense. A little bit undersized of a corner. Where does that flourish? Well, that flourishes with the Rams and Shula and his scheme, which was kind of like passed down from Raheem Morris, who also didn't mind his smaller corners playing on the outside. So yeah, I'm okay with it. Denver Broncos, they go with Caleb Banks, defensive tackle out of Florida. I don't love this one. I'd much rather, if I'm going to take a shot on Banks, it's going to be firmly day 2. Not only is he an older prospect, but he is a late bloomer. The foot injury hasn't really helped him this season. He missed a large part of the season because of that foot injury. Broncos, I guess John Franklin Myers is a free agent, but I don't know. I'd probably go elsewhere. Chicago Bears go TJ Parker, edge out of Clemson. He checks a lot of boxes when it comes to Dennis Allen and what he wants from the edge position. You get a 3-down player in Parker, who's coming off his best game of the year against South Carolina, where he had 8 pressures, 4 sacks. A very good game. Makes sense for the Bears. But let's wrap this sucker in a nice little bow, because it's the New England Patriots, who are going to go with Monroe Freeland, offensive tackle out of Georgia. Let's go. I like Freeland quite a bit. I think he can return, get more starts under his belt, become a little bit more polished. I think he leans into contact quite a bit. He's out there overreaching, which causes balance concerns. But for the most part, man, yeah, I like Monroe a ton. I'm happy to see Freeland go in a first round mock. I truly am. So this ends up being what, your long-term answer at right tackle? Or maybe you just kick in Will Campbell to guard. But I mean, he's been playing solid. I know he's hurt right now on the IR, but prior to that, he was playing good football. So Dane Brugler actually has picks for the teams who don't have first rounders. So we got Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver out of Alabama, going to the Falcons. Falcons just have Drake London. And again, that's not like a dig at Kyle Pitts. Just in terms of the wide receiver room, Brugler has the Colts taking Jake Golday, the linebacker out of Cincinnati. I don't mind it. I like Golday. He's kind of a freak. The Jacksonville Jaguars go with Keith Abney, corner out of Arizona State. I love Abney. He's a my guy. I will not stop saying he's a first round pick. That's just how I feel. And then the Packers take Davidson Igbinosun, corner out of Ohio State, who's also playing really good football this year. The Packers, they could be in line for another corner, so I'm okay with that. But that's it for the mock. Let's go ahead and give this sucker the smiley face. Yes, it was awesome. I liked it quite a bit. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. But as always, do that YouTube thing. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.